So that's a good lead in, Jason.
Yeah.
Plugged in last night, and here's the overview for today. It's so funny when you talk to people the night before the draft,
right?
And everyone's like, got to get sleep, but the phone is on notifications. You never know what's going to come. Plus, you got to wake up and be going East Coast time way before. It's going to be a long, long day. A lot of coffee and stuff going to be drunken today there and in front offices around the country. The overall, and just to be transparent, you get told things and then it's okay. Well, what are we comfortable saying here? That's kind of an overall philosophy, which is the through line is they're just being patient. They're not going to force anything. The Kings want to get into the first round. That is a known thing. They would like to get a first round pick.
But it's got to be the right move.
It's got to be the right move. There is no mandate to get into the first round. And it's also one of those, I think that their mindset is, look, we are perfectly comfortable letting the draft go through. If we don't get the first round pick, we don't. But our moves are going to come in free agency and maybe a trade or two, of which we can completely control that aspect. But their ears, they're open for business. And so as draft day commences and people are trying to position, a lot of these conversations that have been being had, some over the last few days, some over the last few weeks, some that pick up from last summer. Hey, want to revisit what we talked about? Any change there? The way these things matriculate is always interesting to watch. So for them, if they have an opportunity to, whether it's directly or as a facilitator, pick up something that is advantageous. And by the way, I'm aware that it's like, well, they can do something to improve the team. They're going to do it. But I think the main takeaway is that if you're a betting man right now at 7:51 in the morning, it's probably going to be a pretty quiet day for the Kings. That's just where it's at. But boy, could that all change in the next 30 seconds. Somebody calls up from XYZ team and says, hey, why don't you take a look at this deal? We really want to move up in this draft, and these guys want this, and we need to get rid of this, whatever it may be.
Yeah, with all the moves, like some teams have made trades yesterday. There was talk about, the Nets that have, I think, six first-round picks.
Yeah.
So, and a bunch in that 17 to like 28 range. Could they be a team the Kings could work with?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Got to have the right deal that the Nets want, that the Kings want. So, yeah, I like that idea in premise. Just, don't force anything. But if you can get there and find a player you're looking for, do it. Go for it.
I think if they could find a move, obviously, that made sense for Zach LaVine, I think they'd do it. I think DeRozan is 99% the favorite to be the guy that goes, in part because of the contract. I do not believe, and I've said this for a while, DeRozan and LaVine will be on this team next year. But they also have this glut of Keon Ellis, Devin Carter, DeRozan, LaVine, Malik Monk.
Yeah.
I would be not surprised, Jason. I would be shocked, like on the floor, like holding my chest, if two of those weren't gone.
Right.
I don't know which two.
Yeah.
But there's conversations happening. So, understandably, a lot of the reaction is, the gif of, poking the thing with a stick, do something, or great, we're going to run it back. Or I understand that there are a large amount of Kings fans that want to see some firecracker moves. I talked about the medicine that's bitter, but it might, the last thing I want to see, and the last thing I think Kings fans should want to see, is some sort of firecracker move that's a win now.
Yeah.
I don't know that this is the direction they're going, and honestly, I doubt it. But if we were talking about a team that's like, look, dude, we're not going to win a title with this team, or we're going to rebuild. If we follow Scott Perry's record with James Dolan and the Knicks, where he turned the entire roster over in under 3 years, this is exactly what you want. Guys, we're not winning a championship next year. So we're not looking to sacrifice future first-round value. We're not looking to take on tons of salary unless it's expiring. We're doing everything we can to try to maximize value for what we have and to build for the future. And you know what happens with that? That means you load up on certain things, you wait, you're patient. Oh, we're not going to make a single move this summer. That's fine. I would rather them not do a thing and run this whole team back next year than make some stupid move that's going to hamstring them for 2 or 3 extra wins. And then, the trade deadline comes around.
Right.
Well, we got you. Much rather them do that. And I think that's where their head's at right now. I think they're just being patient, and they know this ain't the team.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do anything that's going to hamstring them in the future. And I'm fine with that.
And that's why also, too, I think it goes back to Scott Perry's experience that
Yes.
if he can't, there better not be a mandate to look, progress and improvement, that should all be goals. But got to be a playoff team. I think they want to be.
Yes.
But you can't do it in a way that just doesn't make any sense. Where it's an all or nothing.
Absolutely.
And the nothing is derailing you for even. They've 19 of 20 years they haven't made the playoffs. Yeah. It's kind of hard to miss the playoffs
when over half the teams in the NBA make it.
And 19 of 20 years they've missed.
It's a special kind of failure.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider the amount of draft capital they've had
right.
and that they've blown over those 19 years. Much more on that later, including their draft history, specifically at 8:28. Bob Jarrett will join us at 9 a.m. Jason, you really had to put their draft history as a segment in here. Remember I said I was glad you're back? Jeez. When we come back, all these trades.
What gives?
What's the deal with all these trades?